Welcome, everybody, back to episode 97 of the Under Review podcast. It's been a couple weeks. We've missed the major games. I'm sorry. It happens. Life happens. Internet happens. Bills happen, apparently. More on that later. But we're going to talk about the college playoffs after the fact, So the 12 teams were in, all this and that. We know Indiana won 27-21 last night over Miami. 16-0 season, perfect season, but we're all going to talk about all this, the bracket, how these teams got there, and who should have been in their place. Should Alabama made it? Should Oklahoma made it? Who knows? But we'll talk about all that and more live on the Under Review podcast.
Welcome to the Under Review podcast, where Saturdays mean everything, rivalries run deep, and the SEC reigns supreme. Hosted by Todd and Marty, two die-hard fans breaking down every snap, storyline, and showdown across the Southeastern Conference. From the swamp to the plains, between the hedges to the bayou, no team is safe when it's under review. Now back to the action with Todd and Marty.
Yeah.
I was backstage just laughing.
Bills happened. So what happened was I didn't pay my internet bill for a couple months, we'll say, at least. And
just forget about it. Somebody else will pay it, right?
Well, we had this problem where Pops, he'll get in the window and knock the internet out. So that's all we thought it was. Then we thought it was the Ethernet cable, and I doubt we didn't pay the bill. So
I was ready to record that night too. I was hyped up.
I was ready. I had everything ready to go, and then I looked over and I was like, "Internet's not working."
45 minutes later, internet's still not working. I get a text.
Still was.
It helps if you pay the bill.
It does. It very does. So pay your bills, guys. But
Yeah.
we're going to talk about mostly everything on from the semifinals to the championship because, we missed a couple weeks. So it started out with the quarterfinals. Started with the quarterfinals. Oregon taking down Texas Tech 23-0. They go to the Chick-fil-A Bowl to meet their counterpart, Indiana, who beat out Indiana 38-3. I don't think Alabama showed up for that game at all. It was a very bad game by Alabama. But then you take a look at it in the retrospect of everything. Indiana is a dang good team.
I think they're
come to find out.
Yeah, besides last night, their last two games was 34 points and then 31 points. So, that's 65 points in two games. That's pretty high-powered offense.
Yeah, that's just point margin because they put up 56 and 38. And if you can do simple math, yeah.
Yeah, my math ain't mathing.
But on the other side of the bracket, you had the All-State Sugar Bowl, which saw Ole Miss beating Georgia.
No shocker there.
Right. To move on to the Fiesta Bowl. And then Miami taking down the number 2 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes 24-10 in the Cotton Bowl Classic to move again to play Ole Miss in the Fiesta Bowl, which that set up our semifinals, which brought us Indiana, a convincing win, 56-22 over Oregon. Yeah, he's on one.
I hear that.
And then what was a great matchup in the Fiesta Bowl between Miami and Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. Carson Beck would do his thing. Trinidad Chambliss would do his thing. Fletcher would do his thing. It was a good game all around. But Miami eventually ended up winning 31-27, which brought us to Miami, Florida for the national championship game. And what was a very good game in all. Like I said, I only watched 6 minutes of it, but when I turned it on, it was very close. You don't hate on me.
I hate it all.
Don't care. It's Indiana, Miami. I could care less who one of those no SEC teams. My eyes were not on it. I'm sorry.
We were at the gym working out, and I had it pulled up on my phone. And it was probably one of the better games we've had in the last couple of years as far as, back-to-back. Miami fought out of a hole late. So Miami team's really good. If they can get some players for next year, I think they'll be a contender.
Well, they're going to have to put a different quarterback in there because Carson Beck is leaving for the NFL draft. So,
Woo.
he had a great game. He's just that late interception, 232 yards, 1 touchdown, 19 for 32, and that 1 interception. Francisco Mendoza only had 186 passing yards on 27 attempts, 16 completed. But what was the biggest thing here was him running in.
Oh, nice.
Right there in that fourth quarter. Yeah.
That's going to be the picture on the Sports Illustrated, especially right as he's going off the goal line, the dude's hitting him in the back. I told Brittany that 3 or 4 times. I said, that's going to sum up their season with that picture.
Yeah, and then on the other side, Fletcher Jr., 112 yards, 2 touchdowns. He kept Miami in it, had that explosive, 56-yard rush.
Hell of a game for him. But,
Tippers. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Sidetrack. Yeah, did you see after the game shenanigans?
Yeah, I did. It happens.
So I'm not saying a sore loser because they played a heck of a ball game, but you punch an Indiana.
You can
player.
say a sore loser at the same time, but he also waited for Francisco Mendoza to get done celebrating to greet him in the tunnel and congratulate him on his win. So you take it
after he touched the player,
right? Yeah.
So what could have been said there? Right? I get that. So.
Yeah, it was something that had to have been said that kind of triggered him in that moment. Emotions are running high. If you've ever been in a big situation like that, and a Carson Beck interception ends it. All you needed was a touchdown. You lose by 6 points. It's kind of heartbreaking. I've never been in that position.
Me neither.
But
I finished second in 4-H on a project one time.
I finished second out of 2 people. So.
Overachiever, huh?
Yeah, first loser.
Mom and Dad's proud.
Yeah, but I came third to all y'all, so
and I was the winner.
Yeah, but again, Miami played a great game. I'm not, we've bagged on Miami this whole season, and when the playoffs, they shouldn't be here. After that Texas A&M win, they kind of solidified, like, hey guys, we're here to play and we're here to make a deep run. And, there was continuous doubt, but I had Miami winning this game. I really did. I just like the way they were playing. I like the way they were hot. Even if Miami would have won, I'd still said the same thing. I had Miami winning by 6. I had it close. Yeah. Which, I knew Indiana's a great team. I knew they were going to play good. But I just felt like that Miami defense was just going to bring it just a little bit more, but they did all they could do.
That was my biggest point to having Miami up. Beck's a really good quarterback, but their defense has played so stellar. That's what kept them in. And if Miami would have, before the game, I would predict it, if the reason Miami would have been their defense. Not Carson Beck, even though they have talent at all the spots, especially with that running back.
Fletcher.
Yeah, Fletcher, so they really had talent, but I thought that was going to be their main piece to win the ball game was their defense, and it come up a tad short.
They outgained them 342 yards total for Miami. They did have that 1 turnover. 20 first downs for Indiana. Indiana had less penalties, 5 penalties for 38 yards. Indiana was converting on 3rd down when Miami wasn't. They were 6 for 16. Indiana converted 2 4th downs compared to Miami's 1. And then they just held the ball longer. 36.5-minute possession over 23.5 for Miami. That's 12 minutes. That's a quarter.
Oh yeah, their drives were. I think they had a 14-play drive at one point.
Yeah, 14 play, 85 yards, 6 minutes and 44 seconds.
Wow.
12 play, field goal,
crazy.
55-yard drive, 606. Blunt pot, don't count. The 12-yard run by Mendoza, 12 plays, 75 yards, 5 minutes and 39 seconds. And then the field goal in the 4th, 11 plays, 58 yards for 4 minutes. Almost 5. And then you look at Miami's 2.5 minute drive, a 5 minute drive, 46-second drive. That was Fletcher's run, but that was it. They wasn't holding the ball long. And I mean, that put, and we've talked about it before, being Auburn fans, if your offense is not on the field producing, getting first downs and maintaining on the field, that means your defense is going to be on the field a lot. And you think about good defenses, they're off the field within 3 or 4 minutes. Go back to Auburn when they had Derek Brown and Marlon Davidson and, KJ Britt. A great defense. No offense to help them, so that defense was constantly on the field getting tired. And if your defense is on the field for 36.5 minutes of a game, you're going to give up points.
You get tired.
Greg said that pump block and missed field goal calls the game. Yeah.
I was just fixing to get – that was my next point. How big was that special teams? So I don't know the total numbers, but Miami, with that block there, they had eight block punts all year. That's crazy. All right. And to have one to have one for the national championship, you could say, besides Mendoza's touchdown, that was the turning point. I think that was a big momentum swift right there. I knew they had been getting fairly close, but I mean, you get it blocked on the 3-yard line and recover the end zone. That was a big turning point for Indiana.
Well, the thing with that is, it starts out the third quarter. Mark Fletcher has that big 57-yard run, games within 3 points, and then later on in that same quarter, that block punt, it gets it to 17-7. That's a 10-point game. It's a big, like Greg said, it's a big cost because you had the momentum. The momentum was on your side, and your team was slowly pushing and pushing and pushing. Mm-hmm. And then that block, and then you go down because you're only down 3 at this point, and then you go down 10. I mean, I won't say, because they turned around and scored it right at the fourth quarter. Again, Fletcher with a 3-yard run. I'm not saying Miami was out of that game by then, but their spirits are kind of gone with that block punt. You go down 3, being down 7 or being down 10.
Yeah, I know poor Greg and Danny were chewing their fingernails off last night because I talked to Danny about it, and he said one more. I said hopefully, but no, heck of a season for the Hurricanes. I think they've got a lot to build on. Of course, Cristobal is their man, so. I mean, I like it. I mean, I ain't never just jumped down Miami's throat. I was a big fan of the U back in the 90s, reliving it with them bunch of hooligans. I always thought that so on that 7th floor crew.
Yeah.
Which he adamantly denies that everywhere he goes or won't even talk about it. But it's still funny to see.
It's funny.
But no, like I said, heck of a season for Miami. Again, a lot to build on. And I think they're really going to start taking over the SEC year in, year out.
ACC?
That's what I meant.
Yeah. Which, here's the good thing about Miami. They have till the 24th, I think, is officially the last day of the transfer portal. Because they was in the championship game. They get that extra window for them. They just need to keep Fletcher from going to the draft and hang on to Tony. And I haven't kept up with the Miami's transfer portal, so I don't know if they've got a good quarterback coming in. If they've signed one, I don't know. But you're losing a lot of key pieces on that defense.
Speaking of being pissed off Auburn fan, do you see how good Keontae Scott's been over through the playoff?
That's what I was talking about. Yeah, Keontae Scott, who's played great. Man. He's played absolutely great.
That just when he had that pick 6 the other day, I was like, could have been in Auburn.
Well, again, and I told you when it happened, when they changed his position, he went downhill from there.
Yep.
They moved him from a slot to a corner or whatever. I don't remember the actual logistics of it. Greg said Miami had a chance to intercept him and hit him in the chest, and he dropped it in the end zone.
Yeah, they did. That's what I told Brittany, and it hit him. I mean, pretty much like you practice right in the chest. You've got to make them. They say big players make big plays. Not all the time.
I didn't know that. I didn't know this. That Carter Davis, the field goal kicker for Miami, but there's also another field goal kicker. Bert Auburn was on that team, and I never seen him play.
I remember him transferring there.
I remember him transferring, to Texas. Yes.
Yeah.
But I never.
I guess that's the only way Auburn's gonna wait. They still didn't get a ring. Dang, never mind.
He kicked one from 30 to 39 yards and one field goal. He had 11 points all season.
Did you see their other kicker? He dunked that one, and he dunked one the week before.
Yeah, Carter. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Dude.
Like, he missed 2 this game, I want to say. Did he not?
I don't know. I know he dunked one for sure because I was standing at the fridge and heard it. Boom.
Stacy has a question. She says, why did both quarterbacks have a green sticker on the back of their helmet? So the sticker means that they have speakers inside their helmets so they can communicate with the coaches.
I'll say, get it out.
Yeah, I couldn't think of the thing that you put.
Don't quarterbacks have 2?
Each? Well, what do you mean 2?
I thought
they have 2 helmets.
Right, well, they have 2 helmets with the comms in them, and then one that doesn't. Yeah.
And then same thing on the defense. One guy on the defense has it so he can relay the plays. Most likely a middle linebacker or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think with Miami, they had a good season. It sucks that they fell just short. But, props to Indiana. 16-0, the first time that's happened. 15-0 has happened 3 times before that. Georgia did it. 22.
Clemson.
LSU 19 and Clemson in 2018. That's 15-0, but with the new playoff format, Indiana is the first team to do it. 16-0. Kurt Cigaretti, which I think is funny. I heard somebody call him that on TikTok the other day. Kurt Cignetti is the first to do it. I think what he built there is great. Everywhere he's been a winner. JMU to Indiana. Dude was living a real life road to glory dynasty mode, and it's amazing.
Did Auburn not ever call him at any point?
Probably not.
Phone must still been in Brian Harson's pocket.
Yeah, he just took it with him when he left.
Yeah, so if you said you weren't watching the game, but a fun fact, Mendoza literally lived in Miami, went to high school in Miami, grew up like 2.5 miles from Coral Gables. So he was a big Miami fan during school and stuff like that, but they didn't offer him a shot to play.
Right. And Greg said, did you watch Fletcher punch that guy? I did. we talked about that earlier.
Oh,
I mean, first of all, we said something had to be said. We don't know exactly what could have been said. I'm not going to speculate anything on what was said. Game.
But yeah, there's some kind of tomfoolery went on during that conversation where he got his lip popped.
So far, Miami has not got a quarterback, but they have got 2 kickers committed.
Hey, well, apparently that would help.
Yeah, they also got Cam Vaughn from West Virginia, a wide receiver, and then a wide receiver from South Carolina.
Well, I think, too, like just being in the national championship, it shows recruits and stuff, your program's on the rise. As good as the coach Mario Cristobal is, I think that's going to help them, too.
Yeah.
Didn't they have an Auburn recruiter? Wasn't one of the guys that's at Miami now from Auburn? I thought one of their recruiters was, but I can't remember.
Greg said something was said was the dude was talking about Fletcher's dad being dead.
Oh, well, I punched him too.
I'd punch somebody in the mouth too.
Yeah, well, first of all, that's horrible sportsmanship, but to get punched in the mouth, he definitely well deserved.
You said
did you
somebody
see
on
where
the coach.
Mendoza is gone too?
Go
He's
ahead.
at Georgia Tech now. Little brother
Was that-
Mendoza, he's signed with Georgia Tech.
He did. He signed with
I
Georgia
said-
Tech earlier today.
Man, get your ring and leave, son.
I mean, he really wasn't playing, so I mean,
He
could you
get
be
a
mad
ring.
at him? But not a lot.
He won't get a ring at Georgia Tech, but
No, Zach Etheridge.
okay. I thought they had a.
He's their
One of my
defensive
favorites.
coordinator or defensive back coach.
See, I'm just saying that because he was the one that got hurt at Auburn that about died when that player fell on top. Or
Oh,
yeah, I think it was
I don't
against
know what you're talking
Georgia.
about.
Yeah, you do.
I know he's number 4 and he was a defensive back for Auburn.
I know that, and he about died. I think it was. He got hurt pretty bad.
I know he played on the 2010 team. He was a safety right beside Aaron Savage.
How well did that team do?
I think they won something.
Participation trophy? Oh, wait. They had that Newton guy, didn't they? The Fig?
Yeah, scam.
Yep.
He said, since you didn't win the championship, I will let your dad know because Fletcher texts his dad before every game. How low do you got to be?
Okay. Double punch.
Well-deserved punch.
Yeah, well deserved. We'll put the stamp of approval on it and send it to him.
He needs a fine pay. Don't
Golly.
call me. I can't pay bills, so...
That's an asshat move, though.
Yeah, it is. What else?
Anyway, back
We
to
don't-
footballish.
Don't want to talk much about the portal. We got a big portal. 4-part episodes are coming.
Is that going to
soon.
be the 100?
It's going to be after the 100.
Okay. Well,
We're going to have
round
we're
table?
going to have some episodes before. Yeah, we're going to have the Roundtable 100 episode before that. But then we'll jump into, because like I said, the portal ends this month, and it's over. No, there's no late sign-in. There's supposed to be this month is the last month, and then it's over.
Smoke
So
Spirit
we'll jump
woman.
into that. Maybe early March,
Get 'em not.
or maybe late February, early March.
Huh? I didn't take them off. Go have a rest.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, Indiana was a great team, and it's I didn't think that Francisco Mendoza was the talented guy that he was when he played Auburn last year at California. I was like, yeah, he's a good quarterback and all, but I didn't see Heisman winner national championship coming out of that. But at the same time, Kurt Cignetti picks his team, bunch of old guys that are 24, 25 years old that been in systems and they've bulked up and they know how to play football instead of 18, 19-year-olds who've just started a training program. So, I mean, Kurt Cignetti knows what he's doing. He has the right format. Now, Marty, is there any team, going back and looking that, not talking about James Madison and Tulane because everybody's going to say that, but out of the 12 teams that made the college playoff, was there a team that should not have made it and somebody else should have been in their place?
No. Even with Alabama.
I mean, they did have a good first-round game in Norman.
Yeah, I think they got it right to a lot of extent. Of course, I'm not jumping up and down like the JMUs and all that kind of stuff, but everybody else, I thought, besides the 2 blowout games, I thought it was overall a really good playoff.
Yeah, I mean, you take the JMU Tulane games out, and besides that, there were 3 blowouts of the whole tournament.
Yeah.
And that was Indiana beating Alabama, Indiana beating Oregon, and then I technically call Oregon beating Texas Tech a blowout. They beat them 23-0. To me, a blowout's 17 plus. So,
Yeah. And you get goose egg too, so.
yeah. Back in the old timey days, that'd be past the controller.
Exactly.
21 skunking.
21 skunking, you done.
But, I don't think, maybe you could have put, the Notre Dame in there at 11 or, Vandy or Texas or somebody in there. Yeah, I understand that. But
I don't know. Maybe a Texas or did Vandy
over
win
the
their bowl
two
game?
JMUs. Huh?
Yeah.
The only team that won, SEC had a terrible bowl season, and I'm glad you brought that up. SEC absolutely sucked this year in the bowl. They won, besides the college football playoff, they won one game, and that was Texas. They absolutely sucked. And considering Alabama didn't, they did win, but considering Alabama wasn't a bowl game, pretty much, because it was home field advantage. They don't put bowl games on the first round. Jacksonville State was the only Alabama team to win a bowl game this year.
They should have won their championship too, but
yeah,
either or. That's just nuts to me.
Greg. He signed with Georgia Tech earlier today. He's asking about Mendoza's brother. Yeah, he signed about 12:30, I want to say. But I think they will figure something out with the Tulanes and the James Madisons. Notre Dame cried so much that they got a new deal for them. I think it's absolutely terrible. I think it's terrible. You can't say, "Oh, we're top 12, we deserve to be in." I don't.
You could get a committee of the brightest and best, and still won't get. You ain't gonna please everybody. You just need to win ball games.
You're not, and at the same time, you played this Miami team, and you lost by 3, but you still lost. And you lost. Was it USC? I want to say it was. Was their second loss? No, Texas A&M. Back-to-back weeks. They started 0-2. But again, they were close games. I will say that. They were close games. They lost the total games about 4 points. So, but when you're playing
he's
Purdue,
raising it, ain't he?
Yeah, you're playing Purdue and Boise State and Navy and Boston College and Syracuse and Stanford. These teams, yes, they are in Power 5, except for Boise. These teams are in Power 4 conferences, yes. But these teams are at the bottom of their conference. You're not impressing me with that. And what Greg said, I think they will go to a 16 game. No bias for nobody. I get that. I think it's a smart move. Because, people are complaining about having a bye and then, losing a gap. And, I think not having a bye would add more. Instead of these teams like Georgia that are sitting out 3 weeks, not playing because, they missed. I get that. I think 16, but you stop at 16. I don't think you go further than 16.
But I think you should get, like I said, the top 16, not these whimsy-pimsy schools getting a buy-in because they beat other whimsy-pimsy schools. Top 16 teams.
I think we'll take Jacksonville State. If you're Jacksonville State at the end of the year and you are ranked 15th, you go in. Not you're ranked 24th and you're the highest ranked team and you win Conference USA, then you get in. I don't get that. Yeah, they try to get these smaller teams money by getting them in the playoffs. But you're getting blown out, which has happened twice. Now, last year, Penn State, Boise State was a better game. But there was a Heisman hopeful on the Boise State team in Ashton Jeanty. This Tulane team did not have that. This James Madison team, again, did not have that. So, again, yeah, I like it for the little schools because they get more money, but at the same time, you just absolutely embarrassed yourself. Absolutely.
But then you get like Alabama and get embarrassed.
But again, by the national champions who showed against Alabama.
Too.
Yeah, exactly. I think besides that Miami game, was that their closest game?
Hmm.
Um, I know they played. Ohio State. They beat Ohio State by 3, and Penn State by 3. So,
And them are good, decent quality teams that I would expect to be a 3, 7, 60 point game.
right, yeah. But I mean, and then you showed up and you beat Alabama by 35. It's just a. And there's Hayden Coker. Looky there.
My man.
I'm glad for Indiana that they won it. Um,
Yeah.
But I was really hoping that Miami did. I thought Miami had it until the very end. And right when Carson Beck threw that last pass, I was like, they had it. He was there. But that cornerback played that ball perfectly. He watched the safety go over, cover his guy, and he hit that corner.
So now do you think, I mean, I don't think we're ever going to see like the Georgia, Alabama big powerhouses like we've had win 3 of the 4 years. So this is going to open up a lot more of these, I guess, I won't say smaller schools, but people who haven't been super, like God bless Indiana hasn't, but here they are 2 years out in this Kurt Cinetti era. National champs.
And my thing is, with NIL and all this stuff, it's getting out of hand, yes. But the thing with Indiana here, and I said it earlier, he's not going out and getting these 5-star kids. He's getting the kids that's been in the program. Yeah. He's getting the kids that been in the system other places, and, he found a lot of diamond in the roughs, if that's what you want to call it.
Now he's got a bunch on his finger, too, so.
Yeah. I mean, going into next year is going to be very interesting to see if somebody can stop the Big Ten from winning a 4th straight. Michigan, Ohio State, now Indiana. Yeah, the NIL has screwed up NCAA, and until they figure out how to fix it, it's going to be like this.
That's been my biggest statement over the last couple of weeks we've been talking about it. That's sad that you're going to have to take a pay cut to go to the NFL.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, though, but at the same time, I mean, that's why these kids are wanting to stay in college longer, is because they're making more money.
But again, if we've talked about him more than once, TJ Finley's at his 7th school.
In 6 years.
How much money is he making?
Well, probably not much at the FCS school now, but he did the reverse dynasty. He went the back way.
Yeah, I seen that. LSU, Auburn, and it just went Western Kentucky, and it just went to reverse dynasty.
If I was to say, if the Big Ten would have somebody in it again next year, I like the way Ohio State looks right now. I don't know much about Indiana to put all my chips in a basket a year out for Indiana, but I like the way Ohio State looks. If Dante Moore did say he was coming back to Oregon, I like the way Oregon played a lot this year. Oregon's another team to watch out for. I don't know if Michigan can get over their crisis right now to get back into all this, but, with the Big Ten, let's see who else is in here. USC, ow, that hurt. USC is kind of like a silent one there. They were 9-4 this season. I mean, it's been a while since USC's been in a thing. USC lost to TCU, Illinois, and Notre Dame and Oregon. So, I mean, they could. But
it could happen.
It could happen. But if the Big Ten would win it again or go to it, I could see Ohio State doing something like that again. But that's the only team I could say. I can't tell you about the SEC or nothing.
Trash.
Texas is right now looking good.
Yeah.
Arch Manning, Cam Coleman, that's a pretty good statement.
So, with that being said, who do you think could be another, again, smaller school, that's been a powerhouse over the last couple of years? Who could be next?
Texas Tech. They got Brennan Swordsby in the transfer portal. I think it's a really good pickup for Texas Tech. They were a 4 seed this year. They played great. Now, I'm not saying their quarterback was terrible. I'm just saying Brennan Swordsby's a pretty decent quarterback. No botch on
liked Texas Tech. I've always liked Texas Tech. I always liked their color scheme. So,
again, I think Texas A&M was a team to watch out for this year. Again, they had the pretty much quote unquote easiest schedule inside the SEC. Yes, when they played a good team, they got beat. Yes, but another team to keep an eye on. But I don't know really. Looking forward to next year, it's a year out, so I could say Ohio State wins and Ohio State not win a game next year.
What you think too with that? All the eggs that people's put in Texas basketball. What happens if Arch goes down?
They don't have Caldwell behind him no more. I'd tell you a team that I would like to see bounce back would be Clemson.
No. That's an off-brand Auburn.
Or Duke. But
Duke win the ACC. That's a load of mess.
It was hilarious. I think, honestly, I will say this. I don't think Virginia's in a bad spot in the ACC next year with James Franklin.
Okay. I could ride that horse.
Virginia Tech. Excuse me.
I get that. Franklin's a good coach. I think he just kind of.
But he has to win the big games, and that's going to be set in the ACC. He's got to win the big games. He didn't win the big games in the Big Ten. That was his problem. But new team, new culture, it could change for him.
New facelift, right.
But, pretty much that's all we have for y'all tonight. We was just going to chat for a little bit, run our mouths, do what we do best since we haven't been on here in like 3 weeks. But we are going back to the 1 episode per week since it's the end of the season. Probably going to be on Tuesdays like it is right now. I don't know. We might swap it over to Sundays. I like Tuesdays, though. But, well, that being said, thank you to Chuck's Heating and Air, my laboratory.
Next door? Oh, where'd I go?
I see you. Thank you to Chuck's Heating and Air. Thank you to Tactical Home and Pest. SpongeBob. Thank you to Hayden Coker, HCS Media. Every Thursday live from the Buffalo Wild Wings in Pell City. Hayden Coker. Brandon Trammell, Cody Mealer, Jud Dickinson. Want to thank you all. Have a blessed night. College football's over, but that doesn't mean we're stopping here. So tune in next week to the Under Review podcast. It depends on if the internet wants to work or not.
It helps if you pay it.
It does. But appreciate y'all guys. Take care, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.